The Rigveda, hymn 10.38, Indra, 5 verses. O Indra, in this battle great and glorious, in this loud din of war, help us to victory, where in the strife for kine, among bold ring-decked men, arrows fly all around and heroes are subdued. At home disclose to us opulence rich in food, streaming with milk. O Indra, meet to be renowned, Sakra, may we be thine, the friendly conquerors, even as we desire. O Vasu, so do thou, the godless man, much lauded Indra, whether he be Dasa or Arya, who would war with us, easy to conquer, he for thee, with us, these foes, with thee, may we subdue them in the clash of fight. Him who must be invoked by many and by few, who standeth nigh with comfort in the war of men. Indra, famed hero, winner in the deadly strife, let us bring hitherward today to favor us. For Indra, I have heard thee called self-capturer, one steer who never yields, who urges even the churl. Release thyself from Kutsa and come hither. How shall one like thee sit, bound that he may not move? And religious duties are things that are nice, are preferable for the occasion, are things to do regardless of the numbers. Now it's nice to have a different operator for each function of a ritual or whatever, but hymn 10.39, Asphins, 14 verses. As 'twere the name of Father, easy to invoke, we all assembled here invoke this car of yours. Asphins, your swiftly rolling circumambient car, which he who worships must invoke at eve and dawn. Awake all pleasant streams and let the hymns flow forth. Raise up abundant fullness, this is our desire. Asphins, bestow on us a glorious heritage, and give our princes treasure, fair as Soma is. Ye are the bliss of her who groweth old at home, and helpers of the slow, although he linger last. Men call you too Nasatyas, healers of the blind, the thin and feeble, and the man with broken bones. Ye made Shavana weak and worn with length of days, young again like a car, that he had power to move. Ye lifted up the son of Tugra from the floods. At our libations must all these your acts be praised. We will declare among the folk your ancient deeds heroic. Yea, ye were physicians bringing health. You who must be lauded, we will bring for aid, so that this foe of ours, O Asphins, may believe. Listen to me, O Asphins. I have cried to you, give me your aid, as sire and mother aid their son. Poor without kin or friend, or ties of blood am I. Save me before it be too late. From this my curse, ye mounted on your chariot, brought to Vamada the comely maid of Puru Mitra as a bride. Ye came under the calling of the weakling's name, and granted noble offspring to the happy wife. Ye gave again the vigor of his youthful life to the sage Kali, when old age was coming nigh. Ye rescued Vandana and raised him from the pit, and in a moment gave Vispala power to move. Ye Asphins twain, endowed with manly strength, brought forth Rabisa when hidden in the cave, well nigh dead, freed Sapta Vadre, and for Atre caused the pit, heated with fire, to be a pleasant resting place. On Pedu ye bestowed Asphins a courser, white, mighty, with 99 varied gifts of strength, a horse to be renowned, who bore his friend at speed. Joy-giving, Bonga-like, to be invoked of men. From no side ye two kings, whom none may check or stay. Doth grief, distress, or danger come upon the man, whom Asphins swift to hear borne on your glowing path, ye with your consort make the foremost in the race. Come on that chariot which the Rebus wrought for you, the chariot Athens, that is speedier than thought. At harnessing whereof heaven's daughter springs to birth, and from Vivasvat come auspicious night and day. Come, conquerors of the sundered mountain, to our home, Athens, who made the cow stream milk for Sayu's sake, ye who delivered even from the wolf's deep throat and set again at liberty the swallowed quail. We have prepared this laud for you, O Athens, and like the Brigus, as a car have framed it, have decked it as a maid to meet the bridegroom, and have brought it as a son, our stay forever. And we may have the material means to seemingly accomplish all sorts of things, but let us remember to involve the spiritual consciousness and the spiritual side of these issues, medicine included. Hymn 10.40, Athens, 14 verses. Your radiant chariot whither goes it on its way? Who decks it for you, heroes, for its happy course? Starting at daybreak, visiting each morning every house, borne hitherward through prayer unto the sacrifice. Where are ye, Athens, in the evening? Where at morn? Where is your halting place? Where rest ye for the night? Who brings you homeward as the widow bedward draws her husband's brother, as the bride attracts the groom? Early ye sing forth praise as with a herald's voice, and meet for worship go each morning to the house. Whom do ye ever bring to ruin? Unto whose libations come ye? Heroes like two sons of kings, even as hunters follow two wild elephants. We with oblations call you down at morn and eve, to folk who pay you offerings at appointed times. Chiefs, lords of splendor, ye bring food to strengthen them. To you, O Athens, came the daughter of a king, Rosha, and said, O heroes, this I beg of you, be near me in the day, he near me in the night. Help me to gain a car-born chieftain, rich in steeds. O Athens, ye are wise as Kutsa comes to men. Bring your car nigh the folk of him who sings your praise. The bee, O Athens, bears your honey in her mouth, as the maid carries it purified in her hand. To Budju and to Vasa ye come near with help, O Athens. To Stenjara and to Usana your worshipper secures your friendship for him. Through your protection I desire felicity. Cressa and Sayu ye protect, ye Athens twain. Ye two assist the widow and the worshipper, and ye throw open Athens unto those who win the cattle stall that thunders with its sevenfold mouth. The woman hath brought forth, the infant hath appeared. The plants of wondrous beauty straightway have sprung up. To him the rivers run as down a deep descent, and he this day becomes their master and their lord. They mourn the living, cry aloud at sacrifice. The men have set their thoughts upon a distant cast. A lovely thing for fathers who have gathered here, a joy to husbands are the wives their arms shall clasp. Of this we have no knowledge. Tell it forth to us. Now the youth rests within the chambers of the bride. Fain would we reach the dwelling of the vigorous steer who loves the kine. O Athens, this is our desire. Your favoring grace hath come. Ye lords of ample wealth, Athens, our longings are stored up within your hearts. Ye lords of splendor have become our twofold guard. May we as welcome friends reach Argumen's abode, even so rejoicing in the dwelling place of man. Give hero sons and riches to the eloquent. Make a ford, lords of splendor, where men well may drink. Remove the spiteful tree stump standing in the path. O Athens, wonder workers, lords of luster, where and with what folk do ye delight yourselves today? Who hath detained them with him? Whither are they gone? Unto what sages are what worshippers abode? And that's what marriage is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a place of repose. Oh, sure, there's difficulties, but it's supposed to be a manifestation of divine favor. And practice like that, of course. Hymn 10.41, Athens, 3 verses. That general car of yours, invoked by many a man, that comes to our libations 3-wheeled, meet for lauds. That circumambient car, worthy of sacrifice, we call with our pure hymns. At earliest flush of dawn, ye, O Nasatyos, mount that early harnessed car that travels early, laden with its freight of balm, wherewith ye heroes visit clans who sacrifice, even the poor man's worship, where the priest attends. If to the deft of the Varyu, with the meath in hand, are to the kindler firm in strength, the household friend, are to the sages poured libations, ye approach. Come thence, O Athens, now to drink the offered meath. Now, if an offering, if you've been, if you receive, somebody offers you food or drink and it's lawful, and, it's not interfering with some fast or something that you're doing or whatever, then it almost becomes obligatory for you to take it, right? In 10.42, Indra, 11 verses. Even as an archer shoots afar his arrow, offer the laud to him with meet adornment. Call with your voice the wicked's voice, O sage's singer. Make Indra rest beside the Soma. Draw thy friend to me like a cow at milking, O singer. Wake up Indra as a lover. Make thou the hero haste to give us riches, even as a vessel filled brimful with treasure. Why, Magavan, do they call thee bounteous giver? Quicken me thou, I hear art he who quickens. Sakra, let my intelligence be active, and bring us luck that finds great wealth, O Indra. Standing in battle for their rights, together the people, Indra in the fray, invoke thee. Him who brings gifts, the hero makes his comrade. With him who pours no juice, he seeks not friendship. Whoso with plenteous food for him expresses strong somas, as much quickly coming treasure. For him he overthrows in the early morning his swift, well-weaponed foes, and slays the tyrant. He unto whom we offer praises, Indra Mangavan, who hath joined to ours his wishes. Before him, even afar, the foe must tremble. Low before him must bow all human glories. With thy fierce bolt, O God, invoked of many, drive to a distance from afar the foeman. O Indra, give us wealth in grain and cattle, and make thy singers' prayer gain strength and riches. Indra, the swallower of strong libations, rich in the boons they bring, the potent somas, he, Magavan, will not restrict his bounty. He brings much wealth into the soma presser, yea, by superior play he wins advantage. When he, a gambler, piles his gangs in season, celestial natured, he o'erwhelms with riches the devotee who keeps not back his treasure. O much invoked, may we subdue all famine and evil. Want with store of grain and cattle, may we allied as first in rank with princes obtain possessions by our own exertion. But Ahaspate protect us from the rearward, and from above and from below, from sinners. May Indra from the front and from the center, as friend to friends, vouchsafe us room and freedom. And our true will would be to be in line with God's will. Hymn 10.43, Indra, 11 verses. In perfect unison, all yearning hymns of mine that find the light of heaven have sung forth Indra's praise. As wives embrace their lord, the comely bridegroom, so they compass Mangavan about, that he may help. Directed unto thee, my spirit never strays, for I have set my hopes on thee, O much invoked. Sit, wonderful, as king upon the sacred grass, and let thy drinking place be by the soma juice. From indigence and hunger, Indra turns away. Magavan hath the minion of her precious wealth. These, the 7 rivers, flowing on their downward path, increase the vital vigor of the potent steer, as on the fair-leaved tree rest birds. To Indra flow the gladdening soma juices that the bowls contain. Their face that glows with splendor through their mighty power hath found the shine of heaven for man. The Arya's light, as in the game a gambler piles his winnings, so Maghavan, sweeping altogether, ganged the sun. This mighty deed of thine none other could achieve, none Maghavan before thee, none in recent time. Maghavan came by turns to all the tribes of men. The steer took notice of the people's songs of praise. The man in whose libations Sakura hath delight, by means of potent somas vanquished his foes. When soma streams together unto Indra flow like waters to the river, rivulets to the lake. In place of sacrifice, sages exalt his might. As the rain swells, the grain by moisture sent from heaven, he rushes through the region like a furious bull. He who hath made these floods, the dames of worldly lords. This Maghavan hath found light for the man who brings oblation, sheds the juice, and promptly pours his gifts. Let the keen axe come forth together with the light. Here be as erst the teeming cow of sacrifice. Let the red god shine bright with his refulgent ray, and let the god of heroes glow like heaven's clear sheen. O much invoked, may we subdue all famine and evil want with store of grain and cattle. May we, allied as first in rank with princes, obtain possession by our own exertion. Brihaspati protect us from the rearward and from above and from below, from sinners. May Indra from the front and from the center, as friend to friends, vouchsafe us room and freedom. And I think the word that we're listing as corn, it's not talking about what we're calling corn, although I'm sure it will count for that. I think it includes like sesame seed and hemp seed and stuff like that too. The little things that you can crush into a meal and all that. Hymn 1044, Indra, 11 verses. May, sovereign Indra, come to the carousal. He who by holy law is strong and active, the overcomer of all conquering forces with his great steer-like power that hath no limit. Firm-seated is thy car, thy steeds are docile, thy hand, O king, holds firmly grasped the thunder. On thy fair path, O lord of men, come quickly, we will increase thy powers when thou hast drunken. Let strong and mighty steeds who bear this mighty Indra, the lord of men, whose arm wields thunder, bring unto us as sharers of our banquet, the steer of conquering might, of real vigor. So like a bull thou rushest to the Lord, who loves the trough, the sage, the prop of vigor in the vat. Prepare thine energies, collect them in thyself, for thee for our profit, as the master of the wise. May precious treasures come to us, so will I pray. Come to the votary's gift, offered with beauteous laud. Thou art the Lord, as such sit on this holy grass. Thy vessels are inviolate, as law commands. Far went our earliest invocation of the gods, and won us glories that can never be surpassed. They who could not ascend the ship of sacrifice sink down in desolation, trembling with alarm. So be the others, evil-hearted, far away, whose horses, difficult to harness, have been yoked. Here in advance men stand anear to offer gifts, by whom full many a work that brings reward is done. He firmly fixed the plains and mountains as they shook. Dyaus thundered forth and made the air's mid-region quake. He stays apart the two confronting bowls, he sings laud in the potent summer's joy when he hath drunk. I bear this deftly fashioned goad of thine, wherewith thou, Maghavan, shall break the strikers with the hoof. At this libation mayest thou be well satisfied. Partake the juice, partake the worship, Maghavan. O much invoked, may we subdue all famine and evil want with store of grain and cattle. May we, allied as first in rank with princes, obtain possessions by our own exertion. Brihaspati protect us from the rearward and from above and from below, from sinners. May Indra from the front and from the center, as friend to friends, vouchsafe us room and freedom. Now, it's important that we try towards not, let me receive a bunch of charity. Try towards let me have the means to accomplish this by my own business and such. Hymn 10.45, Agna, 12 verses. First Agna sprang to life from out of heaven. The second time from us came the Vedas. Thirdly, the manly soul was in the waters. The pious lauds and kindles him the eternal. Agna, we know thy 3 powers and 3 stations. We know thy forms in many a place divided. We know what name supreme thou hast in secret. We know the source from which thou hast proceeded. The manly soul lit thee in sea and waters. A man's viewer lit thee in the breast of heaven. There as thou stoodest in the 3rd high region, the steers increased thee in the water's bosom. Agni roared out like Dyaus, what time he thunders, he licked the ground, about the plants he flickered. At once, when born, he looked around and kindled, enlightened heaven and earth within the splendor. The spring of glories and support of riches, rouser of thoughts and guardian of the Soma. Good son of strength, a king amid the waters, in forefront of the dawns he shines enkindled. Germ of the world, ensign of all creation. He sprang to life and filled the earth and heavens. Even the firm rock he cleft when passing over, when the 5 tribes brought sacrifice to Agna. So among mortals was immortal Agna established as holy, wise, and willing envoy. He waves the red smoke that he lifts above him, striving to reach the heavens with radiant luster. Like gold to look on far, he shone refulgent, beaming imperishable life for glory. Agni by vital powers became immortal when his prolific father Dyaus begat him. Whoso this day, O God whose flames are lovely, prepares a cake, O Agni mixed with butter, lead thou, and further him to higher fortune, to bliss bestowed by gods, O thou most youthful. Endow him, Agni, with a share of glory. At every song of praise sung forth in rich hymn, dear let him be to Surya, dear to Agni, preeminent with son and children's children. While Agni, day by day, men pay thee worship, they win themselves all treasures worth the wishing. Allied with thee, eager and craving riches, they have disclosed the stable filled with cattle. Agni, the friend of men, the Soma's keeper, Vaesvanara, hath been lauded by the Rishis. We will invoke benignant earth and heaven. Ye deities, give us wealth with hero children. And Tjaspiter is where we get the word Jupiter from. Well, I mean, it went into the Greek. And we see that it goes beyond that, but, well, I mean, it goes beyond the human forms that people think of. But we have this causal relationship, and fire is from somewhere else, or originated from somewhere else, and just, fire on earth. Hymn 10.46, Agna. 10 verses. Established for thee to lend thee vital forces, giver of wealth, guard of his servant's body, the great priest, born who knows the clouds, abider with men, is seated in the lap of waters, worshipping, seeking him with adoration, like some lost creature, followed by its footprints. Wise but a goose, yearning in their hearts, pursued him and found him lurking where the floods are gathered. On the cow's forehead, with laborious searching, Treta, the offspring of Vibhuvas, found him. Born in our houses, youthful bestower, he now becomes the central point of brightness. Yearning with homage, they have set and made him blithe priest among mankind, oblation bearer, leader of rites and purifier envoy of men. As sacrifice that still advances, the foolish brought, the ne'er bewildered forward. Great victor, song inspirer, fort destroyer, leading the youth, gold bearded like a courser, gleaming with wealth. They turned their hymn the prophet, holding his station firmly in the houses. Treta sat down within his home surrounded. Thus, as law bids, departs the tribe's companion after having collected men with no compulsion. His are the fires eternal purifying that make the houses move, whose smoke is shining, white waxing in their strength, forever stirring and sitting in the wood, like winds are somas. The tongue of Agni bears away the praise song, and through his care for earth, her operations, him, bright and radiant, living men have established as their blithe priest, the chief of sacrificers that Agni, him whom heaven and earth engendered, the waters Tbashtar, and with might, the Brigus, him, Matarithvan, and the gods have fashioned, holy for man, and first to be entreated, Agni, whom gods have made oblation bearer, and much desiring men regard as holy, give life to him who lauds thee when he worships, and then shall glorious men and troops adore thee. And so many of these things are conditional, right? If we worship, do this too, to everybody, and our glorified existence is not just in the encouraging and being a part of, but the discouraging. And so